And to reflect on the briefing by Eskom, we're now joined by energy analyst from the University of Johannesburg, Professor Hartmut Winkler, and he joins us now via our video link. Mr. Hartmut, thank you so much for your time this evening here in SABC News. I mean, let's start off here. We've just seen that press briefing from power utility Eskom, and saying that we will see a limit to load shedding should it take place during the winter period to stage 2. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you can never be absolutely sure of that. We are definitely looking a little bit better this year than we were last year. However, we've just come off a very good patch right now. If one looks at the first 3 months of this year, performance at Eskom was roughly the same as it was last year as well. But this month, they've definitely gone a lot better. I'd feel more comfortable in comparing longer-term averages rather than just going what happened in 1 month. But yes, the fact that we haven't had load shedding, that is a massive success for Eskom, and something that they should celebrate. They also are warning us that we should expect load shedding. I think there's almost no way that you can carry on going the way we've been doing at the moment. The long-term action plans has been the right way of going about it. Realizing that you can't solve this electricity crisis quickly, and that you're just simply going to have to, do the job properly, do the maintenance, try and run everything as properly as you can. And that's way we are now seeing some improvement, but we still have a long way to go.
And, with the inconsistency of our power supply, and I mean, it's great news, the fact that we haven't had load shedding for the past 30 days. But can South Africans really trust what Eskom is saying? I mean, there was a time when we were told that load shedding would come to an end in 2023. But in 2024, we are still being told that we may have load shedding, but only at stage 2.
Yes, well, a couple of things have happened. Last year, we were looking very bad to some degree, to a significant degree, due to Kusile Power Station being in such trouble. 3 of its 6 units, and that amounted to 2.5 stages of load shedding, went down unexpectedly. Now, we never know, something like that's not going to happen again at some point. If it does, then that changes the whole perspective. But while things are running as they are now, and if they can stick to the current trajectory, then I think we're going to be okay. Something that's not mentioned very much, but that's really is playing quite a major role in why we are doing so well at the moment and why there's no load shedding. It's not just that Eskom's power stations are performing slightly better than they have. They're still actually performing very badly compared to how they were doing, say, 10 years ago, but it is an improvement. But the major difference is that South Africans are just using less power right now. Compared to last year, it's about 6% less that's the public and the retail sector, the industrial sector is using than it is right now, at least from Eskom. So that's partly because a lot of people have made plans to install solar or install some other kind of electricity backup in their homes, in their factories and so on. So that is making a change as well. And that's that and Kusile coming back online, most of it, that is largely why we're doing better right now.
And Professor, some would say, you are saying that South Africans are using less electricity, but we are going towards the winter period, and during that time we can see a surge in the amount of people deciding to use electricity. So this forecast we are having from the power utility, do you think that it's realistic, especially when we look at the amount of electricity South Africans use during the winter period?
Yes, well, during the winter period, Eskom does less maintenance, and as a result, they have more power available. So they specifically, they know that they're going to need about 6,000 megawatts more than they would in the summer season. So they make provision for that and try not to do too much regular maintenance during the winter months. So that gives them a little bit of extra. I think the Eskom is being a little bit overconfident when they're saying that we should stick to less than stage 2. They put in the caveat saying that we might on occasion go to stage 5. Yes, I think possibly even stage 6. My personal prediction would be maybe one stage worse than they are saying. They're kind of saying we're going to be oscillating between stage 0 and 2 for most of the winter. I would say maybe between stage 1 and 3.
And what do you like it? And what do you make of the rhetoric from some of the opposition parties saying that, well, we're only seeing less or rather more electricity and consistent electricity for the past 30 days because of the upcoming elections, and really just after the elections we must expect the worst?
No, I don't think it can be quite as bad as that. It's of course the current situation definitely favours the governing party, as this has been one of their major weaknesses over the last few years, and a lot of people probably basing their votes on the electricity situation as a whole. But you cannot keep something like this up for several months. If you really wanted to, there are a couple of ways in which you can prevent load shedding. You just stop maintenance would be one thing, or you burn more diesel. Those are really the two strategies. But you can't really carry on doing that for a long time. And they are still doing maintenance. So they have been doing a lot of maintenance. So they haven't been cutting on that. And as far as the diesel is concerned, I've compared how they've been doing this year. Yes, they've used roughly the same amount, but this month they've gone down. I think it's just because they didn't need it so much. Yeah, so I really don't think it's a
Professor,
situation where they.
What would be your predictions for the winter period, especially when it comes to load shedding? Do you think that it will indeed be contained to stage 2, or should we prepare, for the inevitable?
I think it will be below stage 2 most of the time, but I think it's not just going to be the odd occasion where we'll get to worse than that. I think our average will probably be 1 to 2. So, and as it goes with load shedding, we're not just going to stay there the whole time. We might sometimes have 2 or 3 days of no load shedding. We might sometimes have 2 or 3 days of stage 4, 5, or even 6. I think that's where we're going.
All right, Professor, thank you so much for your time this evening here in SABC News. That is Professor Hartmut Winkler, energy analyst from the University of Johannesburg.